So I got my first paycheck at the age of 18 and soon I'm going to be 29. So it's been almost 11 years where I have done many different jobs, started a successful business which worth at least £1,000,000 today. So in this particular video, I'm going to share the entire journey with you. Like in past 11 years, what are the things which I have learned, how I actually started each and everything. And if I can go back, same at the age of 18 and 19, what are the things which I would actually do differently. So I'm a strong believer that everything happened and might be happening in your life. It's happening for a good reason and it might not be making any sense to you right now, but after watching this video, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna feel a lot better about yourself as well. My name is Zain Shah. I am a full-time e-commerce seller. I started selling on eBay and Amazon almost 11 years ago, and from past about 5 to 6 years, I've been a full-time seller. Like this is the only thing which I do, and I managed to build this business which worth at least £1,000,000 today. My mission on this channel is to help you make £100,000 every single year, and this is practically, truly, realistically possible. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. That will be a massive support, massive help. I'm not just saying that, just hit the subscribe button, like button, and let's get started. So at the age of 18, I came to United Kingdom. I honestly couldn't really speak much English. Whatever the English which I can manage to speak today, it's not perfect, but at the end of the day, this is entirely something which I learned. It's not something which I was born with. This is not my mother language. So I consider that a really strong achievement. I know many people who've been living in a country for decades now, and they can't have a communication in English. At the age of about 19, I started my first job, and that job was a sales job. There are different types of sales jobs as well. I'm gonna give you a couple of examples, but the one I had where I had to approach people in order for me to actually sell something to them. And there are other types of salesmen, like for example, you see a sales assistant in Asda, Tesco, other type of stuff as well. But like, you know, how many times you actually go there and they need to convince you that you need to buy something. So those are types of sales job where they use them just to stock the shelves. So you don't really learn a lot as well. But like, you know, car salesman or some type of, let's say, insurance salesmen, you always see them inside a local malls or, you know, supermarkets there where they are trying to approach to you and trying to sell you something as well. That's a skill you can learn. And if you are looking for a job or career change, these are the type of job, like a salesman or saleswoman is a job which you should actually consider getting into, because you're gonna learn a lot. If you have a skill and ability to convince somebody to buy something from you, that is really going to be helpful for rest of your life as well. So at that moment of time, I wasn't really making much money if I look like, you know, compared today, but it was really a big deal for me because I came from Pakistan, and I remember I got the first check, it was £210, and I was like over the moon, because if you are an immigrant, you came from a different country, you do that calculation, you think about, okay, £210 is 60,000 back home, and you think about, oh my god, you made that in a week because of the currency difference. So your life just literally go over the moon at that particular time. And what I did, I actually was really obsessed with it. Like you can say obsessed with making money. So I had that job which I used to start 9 o'clock in the morning and finish that around 5, 6 sometime in the evening. And I took another job which was a waiter job as a waiter inside a restaurant, which I used to start 7 in the evening and finish that 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was literally working 15 to 16 hours every single day. I was getting maybe maximum 3 to 4 hours of sleep. So in that particular moment when I'm working as a salesman in a daytime job and working as a waiter at the nighttime job, when I used to look around my friends, they are working only one job, couple of hours in a day, and they are taking a weekend off, going night clubbing, all that kind of stuff as well. I definitely felt bad. I thought like I'm not really doing anything. But if I would look back now, if I didn't had the job, the daytime job and a nighttime job, I wouldn't be able to save enough money to actually start my own business. So it was a small sacrifice. Now I can go and, like, you know, hire the entire nightclub just for me. You know what I mean? But at that particular time, like, spending 6, 7, 8 pound on one drink and then spending all the money that you're going to receive in the terms of your salary on every Friday, and you spend the entire money. I know many people do that, spend the entire money on a Friday and Saturday, and from Monday they are just down to zero again. They are asking, okay, can you borrow me 20 pound? Can you borrow me 50 pound? I need to make my bus pass. I need to make that. Honestly, that's what they used to do to me. They used to ask me at that particular time, but I felt bad. But at the same time, I think I was sensible enough to understand that it was a small sacrifice for me to pay now, and later down in a life I can actually enjoy the comfort. So sometimes the things don't look the way they are in that moment, but it will make sense. So that's why I say I am a strong believer everything happens for a good reason. But if you are somebody where at the moment you feel like you don't have any skill, you don't have money to start any kind of business, doing another part-time job might be driving a Uber or doing some other part-time job, the like which I did at nighttime. You don't have to feel embarrassed about it. A lot of people, they're gonna make you feel bad. Oh, 9 to 5 circle, rat race, all that type of stuff as well. But sometime to move forward, you do have to take some steps back. Of course, your mission is going to be, you're not gonna stay there for the rest of your life. You're gonna get into something where you can actually see yourself grow. But if that is the only option, which I took the lesson from myself, looking myself 11 years ago, if I didn't had that first job and I didn't had a second job, I wouldn't be able to save the money to actually start my own shop. So that was my actually first business. So at that time when I was working like day and night, the little spare time which I had, I wasn't wasting even that time. As I said, I was literally very obsessed with the money. So I used to go to these local shops like Poundland, Argos, Asda, buy the stuff from there and sell it on eBay. And honestly, that wasn't really for the money, even though I was making like at least more than my job as a waiter. But it was like a kick which I used to get. Oh my God, I sold this. So whenever it used to do ting ting, like the eBay sound, it used to just make me so happy. But I was a casual seller. So I came from a business family. Whenever I used to discuss with my dad, I used to tell him like, I'm doing this job, but eventually I want to start a business. So I'm doing this, picking the stuff from there. I'm selling them on eBay and Amazon. He had no idea what those platforms were. I am a same way as well to some degree, but because I'm young, I look at the things with a different eyes, I will say. But for him, that wasn't a real business. So he always say like, if you want to open a shop, like you need to have something physical. If you need to start a business, you need to have something physical. So that's why I was saving like a lot of money to start the business. But if I wanted to become an e-commerce seller, I'm sure it wouldn't have costed me a lot of money. Like, opening a shop costs you a lot of money, your lease, your stock, each and everything. But even in 2023 nowadays as well, if you want to start being an e-commerce seller, I think, like, to be honest with you, 300-400 pound, even if you go through a physical route where you buy the products in China in a wholesale and sell them on eBay and Amazon, 300-400-500 pound, depending on a product, it's a very decent budget nowadays as well. But if you, let's say, start with a drop shipping or retail arbitrage, like, it didn't cost me any money back then, it doesn't cost you any money, and you can still make very decent money out of it. But anyway, long story short, when I had enough money, that's when I actually decided to quit both of my job and started my own mobile phone shop. And this is the mistake which a lot of young people do. I see that nowadays as well. And I remember a time when I passed my driving license. I asked a friend of mine, and what car should I buy? And he told me, I'm gonna just take you and get you brand new car. If you ever walk into a car dealership, if you go there to buy, Corsa, they will sell you Lamborghini. And you, at the age of 2021, you don't have much kind of capacity to understand if you won't be able to pay the bill, or, monthly installment, how it gonna impact your credit score. But luckily I was very financially sensible. I thought to myself, if I buy this car, and this is going back to the decisions which I make, which really helped me. Even I was feeling bad about it, driving very cheap and bad car, but if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be in a position where I am today as well. So I thought to myself, okay, this is the car, insurance, fuel, each and everything. I'm gonna be paying 600. I mean, not that I can't afford it, because I'm working day and night. I am definitely able to afford it, but I got a rent, and on the top of that, if that 600 to 700 pound, if that money will go down in a drain, I'm not saving enough money. Like, my mission is to actually start a business, have enough money to start a business. So I'm not gonna spend 600, 700 pound just to look like I'm driving C-Class or I'm driving BMW, look fancy in front of other people. So I remember I took out 350 pound. I seen a car on a Gumtree. It was a Toyota Yaris. I remember back, was 2003 model. I still remember that. And I drove that car like literally, other than MOT, I didn't spend any money on it. Like, I never even spent the money to change the oil. It was an old car, and I drove it for about 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, until that car was very small, and when I became a father, you have to put the stuff inside. So I actually changed the car at that time, but I didn't buy the new car. When I started my first business as a mobile phone shop, I used to open that shop 10 o'clock in the morning, and I used to close around 7. After 7, even though I was a businessman, I was a shop owner at that time, I started driving Uber, and I was thinking like, okay, what I will be doing otherwise. In the early age, you have a lot of energy, and you have a capacity to actually make a lot of money. This is like, up until this, I was selling on eBay and Amazon, but very casually. I wasn't selling on a regular basis. So I started driving Uber after I will close the shop, and up until maybe 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I will drive Uber. Again, same routine, because I was very used to sleeping 4-5 hours. One day I just, thought about it and say, I am selling on eBay and Amazon. I sold in the past as well. I made good amount of money out of it, but on a very casual basis. Now I am in a shop. I bought the entire stock, like all the mobile phone and accessories for this shop. I already have that. Why I can't just list all the stuff on the internet over to the eBay, over to the Amazon? So I started listing each and everything, and it came to the point, like, literally I remember I used to leave the house, and I used to like print the label inside the house and ask my wife to actually do all the packing while she's in the house, and I used to go to the shop and during like serve the customer and also do the packing at the same time. So we was both, the amount of orders was literally crazy. So she used to do a lot of packing, I used to do a lot of packing, and that's how I realized, okay, well, I have a shop, it's making decent money, and why not I just sell this one? I've been offered like good amount of money to sell the business. So I sold the shop, put the entire capital into buying a house. So after I sold the shop, I put the rest of the money inside the business, and I scaled the business, and I was so confident that I went in full time as an online seller. So ever since then, I've been just selling online. So the way business work here, anything that we sell on Amazon, it is being fulfilled by Amazon. They do the storing, packing and shipping, and everything which I sell on eBay, there's a company called Hubbo. They also store, pack and ship it to the customer as well. So nowadays, a lot of my time actually go on to newer product research, starting a new business. I am buying different properties nowadays as well. I'm getting into that business, renting that out at the same time. I don't make much videos about it, but I'm thinking of making some soon to share with you how I'm doing that. But what I want to say at the end of the day, if I look back, the way I think about it, I say if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be at this place. What do I mean by that? If I didn't had a 2 job, I wouldn't have enough money to actually open the shop. If I didn't had a shop, then the idea of going full time as an online seller, that wouldn't happen as well. So you can always connect the dot by going backward. Anything which is happening to you right now, your time will come at the same time. You just have to consistently grinding. That's the only way to actually achieve success as well. I wouldn't do anything different, even though at that period of time, it thought that, my life is over. I can't, I'm not growing, I'm not doing anything. But your time will come. But once you see the opportunity, you're just gonna have to get it. During past 11 years, I learned many things. I made many mistakes at the same time, but I put together a step-by-step guide, the way you can actually start your own business by selling on eBay. I had a great testimonials because it's been a year, but year doesn't mean the course is actually old. I update the lecture on a frequent basis. So I'm gonna put the link and testimonials inside the description. Honestly, I don't care you buy or you don't buy, but you're gonna be learning from somebody who been there, done that. We know what work. You will exactly know what products to sell, how to find them, how to work with a supplier, how to receive the money inside your bank account at the end of the day as well. I'm gonna put the link inside the description. Make sure you check that out. I'm gonna put one video right here, and this is definitely going to help you if you are into dropshipping.